We're doing the Ozette Triangle this weekend. It is perfectly rainy as normal, I would think, for this area. So we have our rain skirts on and everything. But what we pack weighs like 4 million pounds because we packed in, I think I'm carrying 5 liters of water, so we don't have to filter the brown water. But we only have 3 miles to go to get to camp. So that's not bad at all.
Weather-wise, warmth-wise, not too bad. It's not cold or anything like that. My pack is pretty heavy. I think it's actually, when we left home, we weighed it at 30 pounds, but that was pre-water.
We're going that way. Bears. This new bridge here, walking across it, it smells like nice, freshly cut wood. Cedar. Not too much elevation on this trail. Just a little bit ups and downs. Brand new. Ooh, it's a brand new one, big one.
You're only allowed to camp in designated areas on this trail, right?
Yes, and camping requires a permit. We made it to some kind of marshy grass. Nice boardwalk. Although we got super hot, we had to shed a layer. Stopped raining, but it's pretty foggy out still, but it's just stuff coming off of the trees. It's kind of strange. The wind here actually is really nice. Normally the wind at the coast is cold and miserable. That guy. Kelly, how many bears do you think we will see on this trip?
Hopefully 0.
She doesn't even want to see any. There's only black bears here.
I'm hopeful not to see a bear. Greg thinks we might see one. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled pretty good. Really cool to see in the wild, but not so much fun because it's a wild animal.
Some of these boards are pretty sketchy. Definitely bouncy when you're walking on them. You can see why they're starting to replace them. See, like, look at this one. You definitely got to watch your step. Looks like you can see through the trees there. I think we might have made it to the coast. Ooh, look at that big tree. Bunch of skunk cabbage. Stinky. Look at that monster tree. That one's actually still alive. We came around this last corner and you can smell the beach stink. What's he got on his nose? Oh. Okay, we're leaving. We made it just in time for high tide. How is it?
Smells like an outhouse.
Not bad. It's a nice one. It's got a swing. Somebody made a hammock. It's pretty big though. It's got nice waterfront. Quite a few sites on this trail and they go down there a ways. There's another porta potty down there, but that looks kind of sketch. We're gonna head back this way and check one of those spots.
After checking out all of the sites, we actually found one really close to the entrance. The site worked out great. It fit both of our tents. We actually probably had space for another. There were deer actually munching on grass right across the way, and there was a secret little pathway down to the beach. By the afternoon, the clouds went away and the sun came out, and we were able to sit down, relax on the beach, and dry out some of our gear.
There's a dead seal up there, and oh my God, almost barfed. Ugh, so gross.
He's lying.
It's about 9:30. We're packing up so we can hit the south area before the tide gets too high. As you can see, our packs have exploded. There was an animal fight right here last night. I think there were 2 chipmunks going to town. The tide is way out today. Last night I came out here and checked the bear cans and there was, I think the tide was right about to the middle of these rocks. Although it sounded like it was literally right up here.
So we ended up having to get a bigger bear can to be able to last us for all of our snacks. So we'll definitely have a better idea for when Mount Rainier, how much we need to do.
There's some pretty nice campsites here. Okay, we're all headed out. We got packed up. I think it's like 10:30. So hopefully we'll make the cutoff to be able to get around the point for low tide.
We're making our way down to South Sandpoint. Have to hike along the beach. There's no real trail going down to this camper site.
This deer just appeared on the beach and it was walking right next to us.
More rocks and more trees.
A lot of kelp that washed up on the shore. Kelly managed to get her stuff stuck between two logs. She thought she could go under them. Made it halfway.
I didn't have a heavy pack on. I could have snuck under it, but there's no way I was going to get under it. I'm trapped! I'm trapped!
I think this section is slower than going up some of the steep hills. It's like a puzzle to get around these obstacles. So this is what it's like to hike with Kelly. She's always about a quarter mile ahead of everybody. That's where these come into play. And you can still yell at her. Hello?
Lane.
Tide still looks good. We're gonna get around this point. And we're gonna start looking for petroglyphs. It says slow moving. We did officially 1 mile an hour to get here. It's super slow. I think we finally found one. All the way on the other side of the rock. Look at there's 2 orcas. There's one here. Another one.
That's pretty cool.
There's another one right there. And there's a couple faces here.
Also thinking maybe moon and sun.
Yeah, that's deep. So far we only found petroglyphs in one spot. It's supposed to be like 40 of them, but I think maybe those big rocks out there, maybe? The shell, maybe is molted or got eaten. We got some bald eagles out here. Right on the tip of that rock, there's a big old fat eagle. Past some day hikers and they say this spit right there is Sandpoint. So we're 2 miles past that. Is our next camp for tonight. Not the easiest with a big pack on. All down there's a rock shelf that goes down, and so there's not a whole lot of waves. Yet another interesting shelter. So our camp should be right in the middle of this section from here. So from Sandpoint past, it's like a racetrack compared to the first part we went on, but this is super nice. Super easy, hard sand. Look what we found. Buoy. We're at camp. This is the South Sandpoint. We have this giant ass buoy there. Up here, we've got our tent set up. Pretty decent spot. It's got a little fort down there. It's got a really big seating area, which actually is really quite nice. It was 4.5 miles and it took us a long time to get here. Here, got this ground, it's like a trampoline. It gets from just piles and piles of pine needles.
Hopefully you don't go bottom through.
We're all packed up. We are headed back. I think it's four or so miles back. Favorite?
Okay.
What was your favorite part of this camp?
Of this camp? Maybe the little setup that somebody left behind for a eating area.
Yeah. table and chairs. My favorite was how private it was. There's a group site right there, but they're far enough away that we couldn't hear them. If you're coming here looking for camps, people have hung these buoys all over, and they're usually next to sites. There's one down there. But as you can see, the trail, there is no real trail once you get down there. I'll show you a view from the other side. You can't even tell that there's anything in here. So this is the view from the other side. That's actually where our camp was, but if you look, there's hardly any reference of a trail. There is this one marker sign. Made it off the beach. The Ozette Ranger Station this way. We just have about 3 miles back. Well, I'm glad we packed in our own water because the water sources out here are pretty full of tannins and they look pretty disgusting. The one from last night wasn't moving hardly at all. So it's kind of just a big pool of brown water. Not super appetizing. So we ended up bringing all of our own water, which made for super heavy packs going in. But heading out today, we're down to our last little bit and it's so much lighter. So much lighter. Also, you have to have bear cans here. You can't do bear hangs. So that adds some extra weight and bulk, but it is required.
Mm-hmm. That's it for Ozette Triangle. We did about 13 miles. Day 2 was pretty rough, but it's still an enjoyable trip. Check out this video next, and you can find us at explorecheckadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.